Coming up next on Good Morning El Paso, the city is not happy to hear it's spending more than its revenue allows. We have a look at what this could mean for you, the taxpayer.
Socorro School District officials are trying to keep up with a growing student population. We take a look at the city's newest high school. Also,
people needed to get some rest and start over early in the morning. I hope that we can finalize the work on Wednesday and hopefully start the process of drafting.
Diplomats are scrambling this morning after a midnight deadline passed. The latest on the Iran nuclear talks coming up.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, it's April Fool's Day, but get ready for some wind. That is not a joke this morning.
exactly. This is a look outside, courtesy of our ABC7 mountain cam, a shot you'll find only on ABC7. Dark skies out there. You can't tell that in some parts of the city they're already seeing some wind.
That's right.
A very good morning, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. I'm Stephanie Valle.
And I'm Hillary Floren. Good morning, everyone. Yes, it is April Fool's Day, but the wind, let's go ahead and talk to Crystal about it. It's going to affect a lot of days today, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Not just are we talking windy conditions today, but for pretty much the entire day, 7-day forecast, we're looking at windy conditions ahead of us. That's the new shift in our focus. It's not on the rain anymore because, well, that's moved off to the east of us. We're dealing with a nice clear clouds and radar map this morning. Your El Paso temperature is now at 58 degrees, cooling off nicely this morning compared to the 70s we saw yesterday at this time. Our winds are 14 miles per hour. Breeziness persisting through El Paso County. Las Cruces, though, winds are lighter now, 3 miles per hour. Our temperature at 48 degrees. The question is, we say no rain today, but does it return by your weekend? I'm going to have that Easter Sunday day planner coming up.
Thanks so much, Crystal. And now to the headlines. A man is in critical condition this morning after crashing his motorcycle on the US 54 I-10 ramp. It happened yesterday before 6, shutting down traffic for hours. The area wasn't reopened, in fact, until around 11 o'clock last night. Special traffic investigators were called out. We're told another car was involved. No word on what caused that accident. A live look at traffic right now for you, though. We had some construction. The interstate closed in one part at I-10 and Piedras earlier this morning, but that is now open. The emergency vehicles are gone, and it's smooth sailing for that morning commute.
We now know what caused a fire over at Lamar Elementary School. The fire department tells us it was electrical problems that caused a classroom to catch fire on the second floor this week. A couple of rooms now have smoke damage. Classes were canceled yesterday, but today they resume. So if your child was scheduled to take the STAR test yesterday, they will make it up today. The city is spending more than it's taking in. That's what the city manager warned City Council. Last year, the city collected about $149 million in property tax revenue. And that's not even enough to fund the police and fire departments, which cost $212 million. The city also has a lot to account for, like the bond projects approved by voters, tax breaks for companies bringing jobs, a subsidy possibly approaching $1 million for the downtown ballpark, and property tax exemptions for the elderly and disabled. Right now, a homeowner with an average El Paso home worth $124,000 pays about $869 a year in city property taxes. It's still too early to tell how this will affect our tax bills because these numbers are all preliminary. City officials say some items like the ballpark subsidy may decrease.
The Socorro School District is the fastest growing school district in the county, with its student population growing 2 to 5% a year. Soon another high school will open up called Pebble Hills High. It will serve a student population that is just too big for Montwood and El Dorado high schools. It will cost taxpayers more than $55 million too. But Socorro ISD administrators say the district needs it. The new school, being built on the El Dorado 9th grade academy location, will house about 1,300 students and is expected to open next school year. We asked the SISD superintendent about the growth on that side of town.
Just a natural phenomenon. Everybody goes to the outskirts. That's something that's normal. So this is the Far East, and it's been growing, like I said, for the past 7 to 10 years. Everybody keeps going further east. I know Isleta went through that growth phase, and we're in that phase now. It's just the place to be.
While Socorro ISD grows, El Paso ISD will lose 5,000 students in 5 years. Isleta ISD has lost 8,000 the past 10 years. But as more families are opting for the new affordable housing in the Far East, tax dollars will continue to flow for SISD.
Talks between Iran and 6 world powers went past a self-imposed midnight deadline, and now we're in overtime. This morning, negotiators are burrowing down to hammer out at least the outline of an agreement. ABC's Susan Solney has the latest, which is developing now.
A landmark nuclear agreement between Iran and 6 world powers, including the United States, could be on the horizon in Switzerland this morning. Diplomats are scrambling now that negotiators failed to meet a self-imposed midnight deadline overnight.
People needed to get some rest and start over early in the morning. I hope that we can finalize the work on Wednesday and hopefully start the process of drafting.
Secretary of State John Kerry had planned to leave the talks on Tuesday, but will remain in place. The State Department and the White House say enough progress has been made to merit another day of talks. Secretary Kerry briefed President Obama via video conference.
Our negotiators have determined, over the context of a mostly sleepless night last night, that they're going to continue these conversations.
A key sticking point, Iran's uranium enrichment. Iran says it wants to enrich uranium for energy, science, and medicine. But many countries fear the technology could be used to make nuclear weapons. Iran also wants the end of economic sanctions that are crippling its economy. Another sticking point, how fast should sanctions on Iran be lifted? The U.S. wants to take a wait-and-see approach. Iran must show progress dismantling some of its programs. But Iran wants a quicker timeline. Recent polling shows that Americans favor a nuclear deal with Iran by a margin of 2-1. Susan Solney, ABC News, Washington.
There was a heated debate in the Texas House after a representative introduced a bill that would cut funding from HIV programs. That money would instead go to abstinence education. We have Good Morning El Paso's Denise Olivas live right now with more on this story. Good morning.
Good morning, Hillary. The Republican-sponsored bill did not sit well with Democrats, especially after learning it would cut $3 million from HIV programs. In 2013, Texas had the 3rd highest number of HIV diagnoses in the country. The Republican-controlled House overwhelmingly approved the budget amendment, but it still has a long way from approval. Not only does Texas have high numbers in HIV diagnosis, but also one of the highest teen birth rates. And Texas public schools are also not required to teach sex education. This topic already has our viewers talking, so should Texas approve the measure? From Facebook, 3 writes, no, they shouldn't. As much as people would be better off being abstinent, it's not going to happen. Testing is and will be something to prevent the spread of HIV. And Giselle writes, it's ridiculous, ignorant, and dangerous. I wish it were an April Fool's Day joke. Now, a majority of our viewers commenting on Facebook don't agree with the slashing of $3 million in HIV programs to go to abstinence education. So tell us what you think, and we'll share more of your comments coming up in our next half hour. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Denise, for that live update.
We have new details on the man who is supposed to train the horse that won the Sunland Derby.
A woman who claims to be his wife in England says he owes her a lot of money and his fiancé is firing back. Also,
it's all ingredients that look green and yellow and scaly, so it looks like an alligator.
A gator dog is just one of the options ballpark goers will be able to eat this season at Southwest University Park. A look at what else is being served.
Making us hungry this morning, right? And Crystal Cly standing by right now with a look at our April Fool's Day forecast.
But no joke, the forecast actually looks pretty good out there. The question is, how high will temperatures rise today? We've got the answer after your break.
Thanks, Crystal. This is ABC 7, where news comes first.